What is up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. So today we're going to do another fight breakdown. And if you're not quite sure what that is, so I can improve my gameplay. What I do is I go back and I watch fights back that are winnable, but at the same time very unique in some situations. So what this does, though, it helps me with my decision making. It also teaches me like when I need to control the pace of a fight. So I started posting these because maybe somebody out there could take some value from this as well. So if not, though, hey, we tried. So anyway, hopping into this one, we are currently. So this fight's gonna take place on Storm Point. We landed kind of on the outside area of the map, not thinking that we had anybody with us. We're all three in a party, so we're all three able to talk. We're gonna play through this fight, and then we're gonna go back through it like we normally do. So here we go.
Pussies, dude. I ain't even seen two.
Look out, grenade!
He's behind a wall left.
Kill leader appointed.
Crack grab. Where is Rev? Getting. There's a totem. Rev's solo toteming.
Down below. Yep. There we go, guys.
Unleashing my singularity. Arcstar.
Marking our surroundings. Taking fire.
Arcstar.
Grab me, yeah.
10 seconds. Rings.
Here, grab it. Yeah, shit. I got heal up.
Shields recharging.
Okay, so it's pretty clear to see where we kind of went wrong. So backing this up, so the biggest thing I want to talk about right now is that where our positioning. This team came out of nowhere, so we weren't really. It's not that we weren't really prepared because we all have weapons, obviously, but it was one of those situations to where did they come from, you know? And their energy coming at us was pretty aggressive. So it was one of those things to where we kind of got caught off guard and we backed up. And honestly, going from here though, based off of Bloodhound scan, left scan, we know that they're in this building. Right away, I can tell that where I'm at isn't enough of an angle to do enough damage for when they're peeking. So we should have immediately taken this bigger building as a team. Right there. There's the Revenant. Get some damage on him. Right now, too, I just want to point out, right now we don't have angles. Like, they're using this small building to, like, hide. So having this other angle over here, just working angles in general, would have been better outcome. Because based on the map right here, all three of us are sharing this one tiny building. And now we have one that's getting an angle on us. You know, he wouldn't have come over there if we're on top of that roof. And at the same time, now he is like, now that he's doing what we should have done. He's working angles on us, right? So. So the issue with Revenant is that he can scale this wall without a question. You know, do some unnecessary damage. Right now, based on Bloodhound scan, right, we have one still over here and we have two over here. Still have opportunity to take the high ground here. You know, because then they have no angles to play. We have all the angles. You know, that's gonna probably turn into this. Oh, we're gonna wait on the bottom type situation. But at least we would have been there as a team. We could have taken damage if they ever like try to move position, right? Because over here they could be peeking this corner. They could be on the roof here, peeking this, peeking that, peeking this, peeking this. They have so many different ways they can play this. Where if we're on top and they're below us, they don't have that many. So right here, Crosby, Luff, and I are all in one building. You know, we're playing it as they have to come to us or they have to peek us. You know, we're not giving them anything. Then I noticed Crosby down here decided to potentially push the Revenant based on the scan. Maybe he got a good beam on him. I'm not quite sure. But we're giving them the opportunity to single us out now, which that's never good, especially once we have the high ground. It kind of goes back to the idea of don't drop. So then Crosby gets team fire down here, and one if not both, are still like rev ulted. And I can see that Crosby's getting beamed from here. So literally, at one point, everybody on their team had an angle on him. So keeping this high ground isn't the best play, but it's better than being on the ground. We should have definitely taken this roof over here, though. So then, seeing what happens next throughout this match, or throughout this fight, it's just a meltdown. So I'm throwing my Q now to try to get him up. And you're going to see that I just throw it for him and I leave it, and that's a waste of that Q, in my opinion. But I was trying to get him from being thirsted. So what I should have done there is I should have dropped down, taken that with him, went to this roof, right? And then I noticed that somebody's behind me. And so the issue here is that if I'm on this roof here, they can't play these windows. So then what happens is I fall off the roof. I didn't mean to go down there. And then it's in a situation to where I've already thrown my Q for him, so I can't even get back up. So this is kind of a cluster at this point. So I'm trying to find an angle to climb on the roof. And then as soon as I come around the corner, I'm greeted by somebody down low and somebody in this window. So this building's completely taken over. The fact that I was even like hopeful that I'd be able to get back up there is funny. So in this situation here, she's never been down there. She's never been on that building in general. To chalk this up, especially in the early parts of a fight, because if you think about it, it's kind of like a chess match, right? You don't know what the first move is going to be. You don't know, like, when they're aggressive, that's the easiest part because you know what they're going to do. They're going to push you. But when they come in with a big energy, that they're going to come in and that completely dissipates and the energy goes away. You're kind of left with, what are they doing? You can see in the beginning of this video,
I thought we were
knuckle cluster, right? That was the first indication of somebody's here.
keeping the same energy. Why aren't you?
I ran to cover because I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from. A knuckle cluster tells me they're trying to suppress me, so they're trying to get angles. Potentially. I get all the way to the roof here to try to find them. And I didn't see anything and I was confused, right? So because if I'm assuming that these people are pushing, because that's Apex now, everybody pushes. Don't see anybody. And then we get to this point here where we're on the roof, right? We're on the roof looking. We get a good bloodhound scan there. We can see where at least two of them are, and I could probably assume that the third one is somewhere in this vicinity here. This roof is going to win more fights than anything because, number one, I'll give you 3 reasons why. Number one, there is zero cover here. You know, I have little vents. I have a little piece of a roof here, you know, like the same identical corner over here on the opposite side of the roof. Like, we have angles to play here. Number two, this building will cover all the angles in this wide area over here for the most part. You know, the building that we're currently on, they could literally be using this rock ledge up here. They could be using the backside of this building. They could be using this fence. They could be using most of this. Number three, because when they came up to us, we were in the same exact spot when they initiated this fight this entire time. They know exactly where we are. They don't need a bloodhound or a seer or a crypto. You know what I mean? They specifically know where we're at because we never moved. You know, all 3 of us, every time we saw one of them peek, we shot and reminded them where we were. So changing our angle will change the cadence of a fight, right? Always working angles, especially in Apex, because Apex is a game where if you have the high ground can be taken over within a second. Like, having the high ground isn't really that big of an advantage. It depends on how you use the high ground. But working angles, working the high ground, that's where we went wrong in this. So that Revenant gets behind me and starts spitfiring at me, right? And that's what's caused me the panic. And so this team is working angles, you know. They know they didn't have the advantage coming into this fight. They played it slow. They got angles. They let us pretty much defeat ourselves. So, if we're gonna take anything away from this video, it's that willing to work better angles to try to push them out of better corners. Just trying to look, because in this entire fight, I was not at once thinking about maybe if I work this angle. I was literally waiting for them to push, and so that kind of leaves you to be a sitting duck, because then when it comes time to look for a better angle, they've already gotten it. So that's where we're going to leave this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys took something away from this. I hope these help you guys as much as they help me. Thank you guys for chilling. Thank you guys for hanging, and I'll see you guys in the next one.